Hello, my name is Alice Wentz, and I will be talking about All the Bright Places by Jennifer Niven. Now, this book is great for readers who love authors like John Green and Gail Forman and Jenny Downham. It is a modern teen fiction book, and it takes place around two characters, Theodore Finch and a girl named Violet. Violet and Theodore, or Finch as he's referred to in the book, come from two totally separate worlds, but they go to the same school. Violet is very much so one of the popular girls who is also a cheerleader, but she also does have some darker back, whereas Finch is known as the school out, almost like the school outcast and the freak. And while Niven never fully goes out and says that he has depression, Finch does often mention suicide and thinks about death a lot. They meet in the first chapter at the top of the school bell tower, both standing on the ledge, thinking about jumping. And it's never made clear who saves who, but in the end they kind of save each other. After that, they don't really talk until one day in a class, I think it was geography class, if I remember correctly, they get assigned partners for this project where they have to go figure out like hidden wonders about their state, and that kind of jumpstarts what becomes a friendship between the two of them. And Finch and Violet are very good for each other. Violet kind of starts to blossom again, and especially after going through what she went through. I won't give any spoilers out, but it was very sad, and she lost someone really dear to her, and she was really struggling with that, and that's kind of why she was up on the ledge. Finch kind of helps her through that, and one of the quotes says, because Finch, throughout the book, he's counting down the days until basically his death, and one of the quotes says, Violet made him feel, instead of counting down the days, he was living the days that he had left, which kind of hints towards what happens in the end, but I'm not going to say again because I don't want to spoil it. So while Violet is blooming and becoming herself again, Finch is kind of shrinking, and although he's falling in love, basically, he's still not, he's still struggling with some more internalized issues. But you can tell that Violet does have a huge effect on him, and one of my favorite quotes from this book is, it's really early on, and Finch is kind of thinking, and he says, but the great thing about this life of ours is that you can be someone different to everybody. And I think that's really important because it works for our lives too, because how you act towards people and different people you act differently towards can really affect your relationships with them. Like, even though he was seen as the class weirdo and freak at the school, but to Violet, Finch was one of her best friends and like the light in her really dark moment in her lifetime. He was that light at the end of the tunnel for her, and for like Finch, Violet, instead of being the popular girl, she was just a girl that was down to earth, and they really saw each other differently than what their classmates saw them as. And I think that's really important, is oftentimes we need to see other people, not what society sees them as, but what as they truly are, and that's kind of what happens with Finch and Violet in this book. I think this is a great book, especially if you love looking for Alaska. Kind of reminds me of that. and even The Fault in Our Stars. I've heard it's a lot like some of Rainbow Rowell's books, like Eleanor and Park especially. So if you love those books, All the Bright Places is a great book. It's kind of a hefty read, but at the same time, it's quick, it's witty, while also being very like meaningful, and I think as a reader you can get a lot out of this book. So I hope you enjoy.